Ottawa Police are trying to figure out why a 19-year-old would commit such a horrific crime. Police believe he's an international student who lived with the family detectives alleged he killed. Police say 4 children were found dead, the youngest 2.5 months old, along with their mother and a family acquaintance. The children's father is the lone survivor and recovering in hospital. The family were newcomers to Canada, recently moving here from Sri Lanka.
We know there are a lot of questions about why this tragedy occurred. This is the focus of our homicide unit as they diligently investigate this tragic crime. Our investigators and forensic teams are working very hard to determine all of the facts and ensure justice is done.
Ottawa's police chief says officers arrived to the Berrigan Road home late last night to find a horrific scene. Neighbors had called 911 just before 11 p.m. after a man ran out of the house yelling for help.
Last night I came out after I saw a lot of police cars and ambulances were there. There are too many cars, around 15 police cars and 4 or 5 ambulances.
Inside, officers found 6 people had been killed with an edged weapon like a knife.
The deceased are 35-year-old Darshani Bombar Anayake Ekanayake. She is the mother of the children. Their 7-year-old son, Anuka Wikrama Singh. Their 4-year-old daughter, Ashwini. Their 2-year-old daughter, Rinayana. And their 2.5-month-old daughter, Kelly.
A 40-year-old man who lives in the house was also killed. The children's father is the lone survivor and is in serious but stable condition in the hospital. The family are newcomers to Canada, moving recently from Sri Lanka.
To the family and neighbors and friends of those immediately affected by this tragedy, I want you to know that the entire city of Ottawa stands with you.
19-year-old Fabio de Souza was arrested without incident at the scene. He's been charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He's a Sri Lankan national who is believed to be in Canada as a student. He was living with the family at the time of the killings. Police say they're not looking for any other suspects and that there is no threat to public safety. But neighbors say they're shaken up.
Oh my God, in my own street, just across the street, this major tragedy has happened, that too with 4 little kids. It's not right. It's a big tragedy for Ottawa for sure.
Commenting from a press conference in Toronto this morning, the Prime Minister calls it a terrible tragedy.
Obviously, our first reactions are all ones of shock and horror at this terrible violence. We're expecting that the community reaches out to support family and friends, as Canadians always do, and we expect the police of jurisdiction to be doing the work and keeping us all informed of this terrible tragedy.
The Ontario legislature held a moment of silence for the victims of the multiple homicides as well. While answering questions from reporters today, Ottawa's police chief was asked if this is the largest murder in Ottawa's history.
It certainly is, in recent memory, and we have some people that have worked in Ottawa here for over 30 years, and in that time period, they haven't seen one as significant as this.
Police are working with Sri Lankan officials to contact family members. A memorial has already been set up in a nearby park for mourners to visit and share their condolences.
This was a senseless act of violence perpetrated on purely innocent people.